exaggerating and embellishing. Sir, hands up. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the Secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your hands off.
How many of our ICE agents have been docked?
On the ground. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
If you let my hands go, I put behind my back.
All right. Cool. Other hand. Lay flat. Lay flat.
Other hand, sir. Other hand.
There's no recording allowed out here. I did not know. There's no recording allowed out here per FBI, right?
For what, I'm sorry?
There's no recording allowed out here.
That's my boss. I have to
There's no
record
recording
everything
allowed
for
out
us.
here. You can record. There's no recording allowed out here.
I'm not a member
There's
of
no
press.
recording allowed.
I understand that, sir, but
What we saw here was fascism in full swing, as handlers of Kristi Noem, in coordination with the police, manhandled and arrested a sitting United States senator. Revisionist history took place.
You know, what I would say is we were conducting a press conference to update everyone on the enforcement actions that are ongoing to bring peace to the city of Los Angeles. And this man burst into the room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me and elevating his voice, and was stopped, did not identify himself, and was removed from the room.
A blatant lie. We all heard Padilla identify himself. She just did not care because it is her duty to carry out the administration's fascistic tendencies. But guess who carried water for this administration?
Here you have this Senator, Alex Padilla. Can Kristi Noem speak? Could you have waited till she finished to ask your questions? To shout your questions? You are a senator, right? You couldn't wait? So that was just you out of control because you were just losing it up. You, a United States Senator, couldn't compose yourself and let the head of Homeland Security finish her thoughts before you asked the question. Couldn't do that, huh? Couldn't do it, huh?
That would be Stephen A. Smith. A message to Stephen A. very quickly. If you were elected to represent those very people that were being taken advantage of, and an administration wanted to use your own citizens as a prop to say, look at the problem with this city, look at the problem with this town, and create an entire problem that does not exist, how would you feel? How would you feel? People are being abducted. They're being sent to foreign gulags. They're being deported to countries they have never known. Foster kids are being deported because ICE is going into foster care. Elementary school kids are disappearing. And you're mad because Alex Padilla tried asking Kristi Noem a question which she probably wouldn't have taken in the first place? Are you out of your mind? Look, maybe I'm a little biased because I lived in LA, I don't know, for 10 years. And as I've said in previous pieces, I love the people, love them. What makes it so beautiful is how culturally diverse it is. And to see and hear Stephen A. Smith go after a sitting senator for doing the right thing, mad, crazy. Also, centrism to a T.
This is the stuff of dictatorships. It is actually happening. A United States senator was manhandled, shoved to the ground, and cuffed. He identified himself. I'm Senator Alex Padilla. That should be enough. That should be enough. A United States senator who is, by the way, protected by the speech and debate clauses of the Constitution of the United States and a specific statute that allows him to oversee immigration facilities. And he says, I'm a senator and I have a question. And to Chris Murphy's point, they said, well, he was being disrespectful. Being disrespectful is legal. Being disrespectful is American. Being disruptive is okay if it's just using your words and not your body. This is the stuff of dictatorships, and the thing that is making me most terrified is I see zero Republicans, except for the presiding officer, in this chamber. And I understand. If it's not a member of your own party, you want some context. There is no context that justifies this action. Alex Padilla is not required to be impeccable in every single way in order to exercise his responsibilities as an American and as one of the two that represents California in the United States Senate. This is the stuff of dictatorships.
Yes, it is. And speaking of writer/journalist David Korn put out this video for Mother Jones, which also showcases problems that are ahead that Noem even outlined in this press conference prior to Padilla trying to ask that question.
As we process all this, we should remember what Kristi Noem was saying right before this episode with the senator.
We are not going away. We are staying here to liberate this city from the socialist and the burdensome leadership that this governor and that this mayor have placed on this country and what they have tried to insert into this city.
Think about that for a moment. She is saying that the federal government, with military units and the Marines, the National Guards, are entering L.A. to liberate the city from the elected leadership of the city and the state. This sounds more like a coup, just classic authoritarian red baiting. And the secretary in charge of Homeland Security is claiming that we're using the military, that they're using the military to liberate Los Angeles from the socialist politicians who have been elected to run Los Angeles and California. She is basically saying it's time for civil war between the Trump administration and the people of Los Angeles and California and their elected leaders. That is authoritarianism. You can call it fascism if you want to call it that. It's not American democracy.
And yet for some, it falls on deaf ears.
And you as a Democratic Party, you have to remember what the backdrop of all of this is. Law and order from Trump, because there didn't appear to be law and order when Biden was in office. Open borders, you said nothing. Migrants coming through the streets of America, you said nothing. We got Medi-Cal in Los Angeles paying over $1 billion for migrants, but don't have enough for Los Angeles who are born right here in the United States of America. What argument do you think is going to win? No one with sense believes that President Trump is totally right. This is not about right and wrong with him. This is about him knowing he has the benefit of the doubt on his side because of what you did over 4 years when he was out of office. If you were Gavin Newsom, as the Wall Street Journal alluded to, you know what you could have done to alleviate this? Since you want to take the Trump administration to court and say that he had no business federalizing the National Guard, you could have called the National Guard. You could have made sure that law enforcement throughout the city of Los Angeles had a very strong, vibrant, conspicuous presence where it might have alleviated the possibility of him calling in, meaning Trump calling in the National Guards and the Marines. You could have done that, but you didn't. And because you didn't, you gave him the opening to do it. Because it makes you look like you're weak on crime, you're weak on lawlessness, you're weak on borders.
Am I surprised by any of this? No, I am not. Stephen A. Smith has shown to be cozy with Steve Bannon on his own podcast. He is cozy now with Riley Gaines. He is showing you why he should not be taken seriously. Kyle Kalinske once called him his favorite centrist. That is long gone because he has bought into these BS narratives. And for his platform, he is being completely irresponsible. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.